training on GTL because we are doing health now, and this product goes hand in hand with health. And LeAnn knows the product a lot better than me. So I appreciate LeAnn and jumping in. LeAnn, why don't you teach us all you know about GTL today, okay? It's all yours.
All righty. Well, good morning, everyone, and thank you. I'm going to share my screen. So give me 1 second. Okay, can everybody see my screen?
We can.
Perfect. Y'all can see the GTL screen, right?
Yes.
Okay, I was just making sure. Okay, so GTL, they made theirs very simple. Honestly, probably one of the most easy user-friendly platform that I've seen throughout any of these carriers. So you have an easy quote to submit. Any policies that you've written, if you need to go and you had it saved, you can go back and review to resume that policy. If you're doing Medicare, they have a fill in the gap tool for Medicare. You're going to love and live in this one right here, the Access GTL link. And I'll show you why here in a little bit. They have a quote turbo term, but this part I find that it's not the easiest way to get to turbo term. There's actually an easier way to do the turbo term quoting. And then they put on webinars and trainings. There's actually going to be one today I saw right after our meeting. So here at 10 o'clock, they're going to do a training on short-term home health care. So if you guys want to, do that, y'all can do that to learn more about that. And just like the wise guys, they have a podcast that's recorded. And this is how I actually learned about GTL is when Darren and Daniel pulled up a podcast on one of our training one days and was going through and showing us their different podcasts. But it looks like their most recent one was done March the 12th, 2025. And then there's quote others. So let's go to quote and submit. Very simple and very easy. And you can actually do two applicants at once. So husband and wife. So the effective date, I'll just say for tomorrow. I am in Texas. Next. And then just off of my information with my date of birth and my husband's date of birth, these are all of the products that we qualify for. So like, let's say, for example, what do I want to do? Let's say if I wanted to do a final expense product. Okay. Life, life select. I'm going to do life select with my husband. So if I was to put in my information, do I really want to put in the weight so y'all can see? No, I don't want to do that. I don't want to show how much I weigh. Let me add my
It's not
husband's.
like you have to be honest.
Okay, you know what? You're true. So let me put my ideal weight. Okay, let me do my ideal weight. Okay, let's do my ideal weight. So they're for living benefits, the graded whole life policy. So you can go anywhere from 10,000 up to 150, or not living benefits, but for their life insurance policy on the life select. So let's say I'm going to do $100,000 policy,
Yeah.
and my husband too. We'll just kind of like meet in the middle, right?
Hmm.
So for my husband and myself combined, this is what our premium looks like together.
Okay.
So it's real simple, real easy, and like and then you can bundle it up with any of these other ones. Like let's say if I wanted to add it, the cancer and heart attack and stroke policy,
Hmm.
we can add that onto. So like it allows you to select multiple and to add on to it.
Nice. Now that 100,000, was that a term or was that? That whole life.
So
That's term.
this is whole life. This is a whole life policy.
That was $100,000 whole life policy they offer.
It goes all the way up to 150, 150,000.
That's a big deal, guys. I don't know if any of you realize that. And that is without blood work, instant decision.
So I want to say yes, but to double check and make sure I'm telling you that correctly. So like inside the carrier guide, go to GTL once this thing likes to load. I do know for sure that, let's see, Life Select whole graded.
Hey,
So
Darren, I don't want to interrupt. There's no blood work required for that.
For
thank
GTL.
you, Tommy.
Yeah.
Thank you, Tommy. That guy's 150,000 no blood work on a whole life policy is rare. I'm just telling you that's rare without doing a like a participating whole life type product, but for simplified issue, that is very rare. And the fact that you can add in all these other insurance is I really like this. I'm just going to shoot it to you straight. One thing I don't like about GTL is their comps are low compared to other ones. But once again, if you are building lots of value here, right? So once in a while you get a product that you really need that makes more sense, quit thinking about comp and start thinking about what the client needs, right?
Mission over commission.
Yeah, oh, thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, mission over commission. And what I do also love about GTL that makes it a lot easier to, if you click on the product description and medical questions inside the carrier guide that I created, right? So all they have to do is answer no to these questions to qualify. So whatever product you're looking for, so like I was just quoting you guys the Life Select. So let me find the Life Select one right here, Life Select. So all I have to do between my husband and I, we would have to answer no to these questions, and then that's it to be able to qualify. So for Life Select, there's 6 questions,
Hmm.
and then that's it. And that's easy. That's your underwriting right there. You qualify.
Really? And
That's
that,
it.
okay. Oh, dang. Hey, Scott,
That
if
is,
you're on here, we might be needing to make a trip to GTL and work on getting the
yeah,
contracts raised.
definitely.
There's so many things I like about this. Yeah, I'd promote them a lot more if we can make a little bit more money on them, though. But I like what I'm hearing. Huh.
So, and then, okay, let me go to, so anyone who's doing Medicare, if you're doing Medicare, you can do a fill in the gap, right? So we're in year 2025. So I'm gonna put in my zip code while it's thinking. So let's just say I'm doing a Humana. I have a Humana Medicare plan. I'm going to go with USSA Honor Give Back because my husband is a veteran. It will pull up what my current plan is with Humana and what GTO will offer to offset it. So as you can see, like they offer more. So the inpatient hospital for in-network for Humana is $345 per day, while GTL's offers $350. So it's $5 more. And then they have additional riders that offer more money and payout and stuff like that. So you have basically you just put in the client's information and you can show them this, and then you can even click on the view brochure to show them the brochure to show them all of this so that they can compare apples to apples.
Okay, LeAnn, let's look at this. I'm selling a 7250 plan on my health insurance, meaning it's it can be around $7,200 deductible before it starts paying out. What does GTL offer that I might be able to offset that deductible? Do they have anything if my client goes to the hospital?
Yes. Oops. Okay, hold on. Let me log back in.
You're good.
Just close out all of this. I don't like having multiple windows open. Okay. So this is the site that y'all are going to love and live in the most,
Okay.
which there's agent training and there's the marketing. So we're going to look at the marketing. Okay. So you're going to want to, for like hospital indemnity, you're going to look at the Advantage Plus Elite. And here, let's do this. Can y'all hear it?
Yeah.
So, you just enrolled for Medicare Advantage health coverage. Great choice. Did you know there is additional coverage you can add to protect you from the out-of-pocket medical expenses you are still responsible for? Help fill any gaps in coverage and strengthen your financial protection with a hospital confinement indemnity insurance policy from Guarantee Trust Life Insurance Company. Since 2005, GTL's industry-leading hospital indemnity insurance has been helping clients lower or completely eliminate their net out-of-pocket expenses stemming from Medicare Advantage copays and deductibles after a hospitalization event. Coverage is affordable and pays you directly based on your time in the hospital, regardless of any other healthcare coverage you have or where in the U.S. you receive care. Your potential out-of-pocket costs could be for a variety of services, including ambulance trips, outpatient therapy, critical accidents, and more. GTL's hospital indemnity insurance allows you to customize your coverage to help cover these and many others. Let's see a quick example on how it works. Meet Beth. She is 65 years old and her Medicare Advantage coverage leaves her responsible for a daily hospitalization copay of $300 per day for her first 6 days in the hospital. Knowing she would be responsible for her high copay, her agent helped her customize and apply for a GTL hospital indemnity insurance policy. Beth's new policy provided a restorable 6-day benefit period of $300 per day for less than $25 per month. A few months later, Beth suffered an illness that kept her in the hospital for 6 days. Her GTL hospital indemnity insurance kicked in after the first 6 hours of her stay. Beth received $1,800 directly from GTL for her hospitalization, which she used to completely cover her Medicare Advantage copay. Instead of worrying about how to pay her high copay, Beth could focus on her recovery without a financial setback. You shouldn't have to worry about covering out-of-pocket medical expenses. So now is a great time to think about GTL's hospital indemnity insurance.
Beautiful. LeAnn, that is so smart, and I love the video. And if we can get a copy of that video, maybe, and put it within maybe our, where we have total access to it. So when we're doing a
Yeah.
presentation with that 7250, because now you don't even have to worry about all these other plans. If I have the 7250 plan, I'm going to show them that one coupled with this right here. And then you just say, okay, we're going to talk about this. Now watch this video because this is why the 7250 plan makes total sense when we add this other one to it. And then you just simply add that to it. Everybody's going to jump on that. It's going to make it so much easier to sell. I
Yeah,
love
and it's not just for Medicare. And I know that they start
Yeah.
the thing with saying you have Medicare. So the issue age on that hospital indemnity is
Mhm.
from 40 to 85.
Right. Yep. Yep.
So
So when you're dealing with a client so we're talking about small business owners, but if they're 40 and above, that's when we would definitely say we're going to throw in this hospital indemnity plan that's going to take care of that deductible for you. If they're younger than 40, then we simply look at we're probably going to do some term policies with riders on it and stuff like that, and there probably are some things we could look at for those too, but. Yeah.
yeah, and so just so y'all can see what the cost is on a hospital indemnity. So like you could do increase my benefit. Oh. So you can select the day of confinement. So I'm gonna just put 5, just the
Hmm.
and it gives you options. Like this thing gives you so many options. I want an ambulance rider, yes. Skilled nursing, all of this stuff. I just want to like get to where I can show you what. So it's really cheap. Like it's 20 something dollars, right? I didn't even add all of the riders on, but like riders are literally like cents on penny, right? But like the premium itself for the hospital indemnity is super cheap.
Yep. And if you guys don't have GTL, ask Jane for that contract. And then
So
in the meantime, if you do have it, get on here and play around because that's why
it,
LeAnn learned this. It's just got on there and
mhm.
played with it. I would say that with any carrier, right? So if you're new, or if you've been with us for a bit and you've got carriers you've never written, go on there and play around with it. You would be shocked. I'm telling you, I've had GTL for a while now, but I'm so busy I don't do this. But I need to spend some time watching those videos because I learned something today I didn't even know, quite a bit actually. So, and I'm sure many of you guys would agree with that as well. So,
Yeah, so
videos
like
are there for you.
I downloaded and ordered a lot of their brochures and forms. I had them sent to me. They're completely free of charge, right? So I had a bunch that way I was able to take it to different clinics and distribute them. So you can order them. Agent training is also one of the best places to be in to learn about GTL. Like they will literally show you. So the video that you had just saw was directed for the client, but then here's our agent training videos that actually goes in depth and explains to you kind of more on how it works. So which
Leanne, I got a question. I'm sorry. So with at any given time, if they get a premium, right, could they always, if they wanted to, if they want to go back and upgrade their policy, could they always go back and upgrade those riders? Like, if they started off with 250 and they wanted to go back and increase it to 500, could they always do that?
yes, you would just contact the carrier and just let them know like, hey, I decided I wanted to increase my the amount on whatever rider or whatever, and then they can easily do that. Or
And a
yeah.
lot of times, the end, what they'll do, they'll have you write a different policy to a second policy to do that. I know they do that with
Mhm.
like health insurance. I mean, life insurance in general.
Yeah.
And so if you want to go from 25,000 to 50,000, you would just write a second policy out for 25,000 to increase it. So they probably would do something similar on that deal.
Yeah. And then so they one of the videos that's on here shows a live demo and a tour of the GTL agent portal and the e-app. So that's a good one to look at and see like how long is this? This one's 52 minutes. So we're not going to do this one.
Mm.
But at least if you have the time and you want to learn more about GTL, I highly recommend, taking a look at that. But there's a bunch of other videos, like this one shows for Florida only. So for Scott and anyone else who's in Florida, they have that. But there's a lot of products that they do offer.
Hey, LeAnn, what is that right there? That is interesting. I saw another product I wanted to ask you about. They can go hand in hand, like Darren's talking about with the health insurance.
Which
Because there's
one?
the accident. Because there are two reasons why people use health insurance plans: they have an accident or they get sick. So, what is that accident and guaranteed issue accident insurance? What is that?
Oh, okay, I see it now. So,
All right, great. Good morning. Again, I'm Dimitri Simos with Guarantee Trust Life. And the reason why we are here today is that we're here to learn a little bit about our new product that's offered through GTL, which is called IGAP. It's a guaranteed issue accident plan, and then it also has some lump sum benefits.
Oh, wow, this would be good.
Be able to take a look at, but and we'll get into more detail about that here shortly. Today, what we're going to cover why sell GTL, what the need is for the IGAP program, what the benefits are, how it works, and then also go through our e-application process. So before we get into the actual product itself, let's chat a little about GTL.
I'm going to skip all of the.
Kind of scroll through and hit the bullet points.
Yeah, I'm going to skip the introduction of GTL.
People have trouble paying medical bills.
See, where does this begin?
You might want to go past it so it can show the benefits.
Yeah, I think it's around 3, about halfway through it was.
Okay, so I'm gonna just go slowly so that way it'll just
Yeah.
like pull up the stuff and y'all can just kind of like read along with it.
Mm-hmm.
How about that?
Darren, we found our accidental supplement right here. Wow,
That's
zero
what
to
I
59.
expected. And this would
Product
cover for
highlight.
younger ages, 0 to 59. So you get that. This is what we were talking about earlier. Those clients that are 32, 33, small
Mhm.
business owners, they don't necessarily need if they go to the hospital, more than likely, it's not because of a stroke or a heart attack or anything like that. More than likely, they've had an accident, and that's where they need covered at. So this is where those guys would come into play.
Right. And so, they have the hospital sickness benefits, the accidental medical. So,
Let's get to the coverage amount.
$250 deductible per accident. That's not bad, but what is the benefits?
Yeah.
okay, well, here's your hospital sickness benefits. So first day, they pay you 50% of the benefits. Second day is 25%.
Okay.
So cancer lump sum benefits,
Ooh, 90-day waiting period. That's cancer. 30-day. Okay.
30-day for heart attack and stroke. How IGAP works. Okay, so if Mary has a major medical policy with $10,000 deductible, she's concerned, blah, blah, blah. How it costs you purchase a 10,000 IGAP plan. She gets into a car accident, leaving her responsible for the total deductible. Since she has the GTL's IGAP, Mary receives a check for 10 grand to cover these expenses.
Do you have to have a health license to sell this one or
Oh.
life?
Life insurance. These are just supplemental, but these are not these products is life, it's a life product.
Okay.
But I would still encourage everybody to be working on your health, and we'll talk more about that on training throughout the week. But if you need your study guide for the health insurance, reach out to me, and I think it's in our Agents First landing page, the
Yep.
study course. But if you need that, let me know, and you go ahead and work on that if you can. It just makes sense right now to have that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they also offer other additional benefits on this one, like where you can get a car rental, a hotel motel stay, you can get 50% off of your membership fee. You can get discounts on flowers. The theme park one, I'm like, that's interesting, but yeah, you can get discounts for theme parks and phones and movie tickets.
Beautiful.
Oh, so here's what the premium. This is all plans choice includes us. The accidental plan. So pretty reasonable price wise.
So really quick, if I can just chime in, keep it right there. So
Oh, you want me
let's
to keep
say,
it there?
for instance,
Yeah, go
like
back.
what Darren was saying, $7,200. You're talking about the 7250
Yeah,
plan, right,
Tommy.
Darren?
Yeah, I was.
All right. So you see right here where it says IGAP at
Not
the top right
including
there.
the
Let's say 34-year-old male. Let's pause it real quick.
Yep.
34-year-old male. Let's say I'm in the park riding my bike and I fall and bust my knee. That's considered an accident. I got to the hospital. Now I can file this claim. I'm paying only $77 a month. I'm going to get $8,000. I'm going to use that $8,000 to pay that deductible with the insurance company. Guess what? That's it. That's all I have to pay. I'm just paying $77 a month plus my health insurance premium. And I get this for having an accident, $8,000 if I chose that plan. Vice versa. You see here, sickness is always going to be cheaper because guess what? Sickness is not as likely as an accident as Darren was talking about. So you see the same scenario. If I get a sickness policy, what for the same thing, it's just $77 right there. So $8,000 for a 34-year-old male. So yeah, that's how that works right there. Using this to offset the deductible as Darren was talking about. So this is very, very good. I didn't know they had this right here.
Mm-hmm. I was saying, like, just going in, like, of course, I don't know about all of the policies. I'm not a complete expert on all of it, but I do love GTL. I find them to be very user friendly, easy for all of their stuff. I think that's the end of this. Okay,
And what I
Yeah,
like about this is we can couple this. So if you are doing small businesses, because here's what I would recommend to anybody. If you guys are, we got agents that said, I don't want to buy leads. Well, listen, there's a lot of people in this business now with what we have, the opportunity we have with our health insurance, our retirement sector. Um, Now we have this product that we can really push. So let's say you go into a small business and maybe it's an electrician or just think of any occupation that where the guys are construction type work, right? The accidents can come into
roofers.
play. Now we can definitely start pushing this product as well. And that will make a big difference. To somebody goes in the hospital and they can pull out $8,000. There are people that are accidents waiting to happen, right? I'm not so sure I'm not that guy. But
Mhm.
anyway, you get fall walking to the car, and you never know. But um, to be able to offer this product is going to really enhance us. So this is good. Here's what I really think is neat is we have so many products that we've had for years we didn't even know we had. Like that's to me that's kind of crazy, isn't it, LeAnn? Like we have so
Yeah.
many things that in our tool belt that so many different tools that we didn't even know we had that we have access to. It's just a matter of getting in there and learning them. So I
Hmm.
appreciate you guys telling me that we need more carrier training because I think that is what we're doing here is we're learning about these things. So good stuff.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
two, Darren, people are thinking that extra $77. Darren had a case, or Rick was talking about a case. A guy was paying $2,500 a month. Excuse my voice, by the way. $2,500 a month for a policy. Rick got him a policy with LifeX for $1,600. I think Darren had a similar situation.
Hmm.
So check this out. I'm going to add those two, what you call as supplement products, the
Yeah.
accidental and then the sickness along with. So let's say extra $144 a month with the $1,500 that the client is paying. Now you're either going to say no and say, hey, I'm going to keep my $2,200 a month policy that I have a deductible first, or I'm going to get your policy where it's co-payments first on the major medical, only deductible needed for major medical events. And I'll explain all that Friday for you guys.
Yeah.
It's a no-brainer. The extra $77 is a no-brainer with the supplement with GI, with guaranteed trust life. It's a no-brainer.
No, I think it's hand in hand. You sell it with the policy. So every time you're going to be selling a health policy, you just automatically are going to be selling this product because they go hand in hand with it. So smart stuff. We'll do that training on Friday with that. So LeAnn, you can take off the screen share.
All
We're
right.
going to open it up for questions for LeAnn on GTL, and if she doesn't know, we'll figure it out. But what do you guys think about today's training?
Hey, Leanne, what about you didn't bring up the prescription drug charge?
Is that on there, LeAnn? I didn't.
Yeah, so actually, that is actually one of my favorite, which actually caught my eye for GTL in the whole beginning. That was what had caught my attention when you had showed it to us. So, for anyone who doesn't know, my background, I come from a medical, I was in home health for 20 something years.
Yeah.
So, GTL has this short-term home health care product, and let me see what would be the best thing for me to show you. I guess the brochure, maybe. So with GTL, they have a short-term home health care product. A lot of people will use it for the home health, but what really is the seller for this product is this prescription drug benefit. So for anybody that's between the ages of 55 to 85, if they are taking any prescribed medications, they will get GTL automatically puts money in their pocket. They'll put $10 for every generic medication or $25 for every brand name medication into their pocket. They have 3 different plan levels with this product. You have plan A, B, and C. So if they're on plan A, they can collect up to $300 a year. If they're on plan B, they can collect up to $600 a year. And if they're on plan C, they can collect up to $900 a year just off of taking medicines. and that will offset the cost of the actual premium for this product. And if they're if it's done where they, take so much medication and they select a certain plan, literally that's extra money in their pocket. Now, while they have this policy in force, and so another way of thinking of GTL, it's kind of like AFLAC, the traditional AFLAC, the hospital, like you have AFLAC, so if you were to like fall off a roof, you issue it and then they pay you. So when you have a GTL policy, in the event something happens and now we have to get home health involved. Home health is when you are at home, you are unable to leave the house because you are homebound. So they'll send out a nurse, a therapist, a home health aide to your home to provide you with those skilled needs. So if you are at home and you something happens, the most common ones we would have would be wound care. We would have a client who was like they fell and they had a wound and now they have like this wound that needs to be treated. We have to send out a nurse to them. The nurse will come out 3 times a week. So on plan A, GTL will put $75 in your pocket for every single time that nurse showed up, come to your house. So if the nurse came out 3 times a week, you get $75 on Monday, you get $75 that Wednesday, and you get $75 that Friday for that whole week. And if they send out physical therapy, they send out another $75 for every time the therapist shows up. If they're on plan B, then of course you get more money. You get $150, and if you're on plan C, they pay you $200. And then if you also have, they also have a hospital rider. But while you're at home and you need a caregiver, they will pay you so you can pay your caregiver $3,500 every 6 months. And that's included. And it is basically all you have to do to make sure anybody qualifies for anything when it comes to GTL is just go to the GTL on my carrier guide, click on the product description, medical questions, and as long as they answer no to these questions under whichever product, then they qualify. Simple as that.
Nice. Any other questions, guys? Good. Thank you, LeAnn.
Yes, you're welcome. No questions? Oh, Kenneth, what about if you take vitamins and supplements?
Yes.
So vitamins and supplements is not a prescribed medication. They won't pay you for that. But if you are taking, let's say you have like 5 prescribed medications, that money that they send you, you can just use that money and turn around and buy your vitamins and supplements. It's your money. The money goes, let's say if you're the patient or client and you're taking these medications, right? And they're paying you. As soon as that money hits your bank account and hits your hand, you do whatever you want with that money.
Gotcha.
That is your money. So
how do they pay? Is that a direct deposit? They send you a check? How do they?
I believe it's direct deposit.
Okay.
You're referring to when you get you're talking about when you get
Whenever they pay out. So yeah, because
payout.
GTL pays out to the client, not to the carriers or the doctors or anything. Anytime GTL pays out on any of their products for all of these AFLAC, not the AFLAC, but the hospital indemnity, the accident policy, the cancer, heart attack, stroke, that all of these supplement policy products, when they pay out to you directly.
Hey, LeAnn, that a prescription that you were just talking about, that is an indemnity, right? So let's say if I go get lisinopril, what, $12. The benefit pays out $20. So the $8 is going to come directly to me, what you're saying. So it works like an indemnity, the first dollar benefit, basically.
Yeah. So even if you have like this awesome health insurance, right, and you don't pay nothing, you pay 0 for that prescription, you still collect that $10 or that $25, whatever, if it falls under a generic or falls under the brand name medication. So if you're taking a brand name medication and you're lucky to where your health insurance covers your prescription at zero cost to you, well, guess you just pocketed $25.
That's crazy. It's a good benefit.
I mean, you pay for your, yeah. I mean, it won't take long, but you're paying for your policy through that alone.
Yeah,
That's
they don't
crazy.
care. So all they say is basically what you do is you fill out the claim form, you submit a copy of the receipts from the pharmacy, or if you do mail-in order pharmacy, they want is just a copy of the receipt with your claim form, and then that's how they pay. That's how they pay the clients.
Dang. This is good stuff, man. I'm telling you, I'm blown away.
And
This
then
this product they offer here, nobody else is doing these products. I mean, most of our stuff is life insurance. The GTL is not your typical life insurance product. So um, we can't really think when we talk about lower comps. Well, it's because it's not your life insurance, right? It's something totally different, and so it is what it is. But the fact that you can actually get life insurance with them at that rate without asking all those health questions, instant decision up to 150,000 whole life, and there are things I really like here. So. You
yeah.
guys play around with this one. Enjoy the GTL. Get to know it a little bit better as we start doing life insurance or health insurance on the side.
And the
Remember,
signing process on this with GTL2, what I also forgot to mention. So instead of having the client sign, what GTL sends the client a 4-digit PIN, the client just needs to tell you what that 4-digit number is. You input it in when you're writing the application, and that's it. It's signed. It's that simple.
very nice. I can see why you like this. So, guys, don't forget H is first: life, health, and retirement, and maybe life, retirement, and health. Right? If we look at in that order, don't forget life is what we do. We are life insurance agents, and retirement fits in with life. Health is something we are adding on. Um, there'll be some people that will make that their number one vertical, and that's fine if that's who you are. But for the most part, we are a life company that offers several verticals, right? And so I just think it's important to know that we're not just all over the place. I've always was taught in the insurance industry, don't chase after too many rabbits. You'll never catch any of them, right? And they tell you stay in your lane. But what we're finding out is, you know, that model doesn't fit everybody. And sometimes we got to find something that fits everybody, right? What is it and why? I think that's to me, it's kind of a slap in the face to say that you're not good enough, that you can't figure other things out. Listen, we're very intelligent people here, and we're smart enough to know that we want to work with agents first. So you're pretty smart, and the fact that you can do more things, you can find out a little bit about this product. It's going to be good. It's going to enhance what you're doing. Still sell your life, still sell your retirement, and then jump in with some health. And now you got some indemnity plans you can throw in with it, and you've got this. And if you need an expert, and once again, LeAnn, there's going to be times when I'm going to be selling health, and I probably might not want to mess with trying to figure this one out. So what I'm doing, I'm going to say, hey, my advisor with the supplemental part of this and indemnity plan is going to be calling you. Her name's LeAnn, and LeAnn's going to do a split, right? So I might let LeAnn do that for me, and she will go in there and figure out what they need and sell them exactly what they need, and she'll do a split, and she'll do that for any one of you guys as well. So if you just say, well, I'd like it, man, I think that's a little bit too much for me. It's all right. We got specialists here. And LeAnn, you'll be glad to do that, won't you? To
Of
help these
course I
guys
will.
out and to do a split with them. And if we do that, I'm going to do a 50-50, right? So I'll get 50% referral fees. And she's going to get 50% for teaching them, finding it, and writing it up. And she's happy as a lark because she just simply got a phone call and said, yeah, I'll help you. So there's ways we can do this, guys. Don't feel like you're going to be overwhelmed if you want to do this product. You just don't know how to do it. We do have specialists that'll help you with it, okay? So any other questions before we get off here today? Okay. Well, if
I
not,
think Jody had a good question.
hey Jody, yeah, go ahead, Jody.
Hey, Tommy, an enrollment center, I can help.
Jody, go ahead. Do you have a question, Jody?
I think he was referring to the one LeAnn was answering.
Okay.
So
Very
I
good.
don't know if anybody else is seeing it. I just was one. It doesn't matter. It's okay.
I'll share my screen again because I'm not seeing what you saw. But so this for this thing that I had created,
It
which
wasn't losing coverage, LeAnn. It was eligibility to age 69.
Okay.
do you
It. I think you were showing the gap plan, weren't you, at the beginning?
okay, let me see. This one that I got. The accident one. Um,
And I wasn't sure what the question was. The question, do you lose coverage at a certain age? Is that what the question was? It's like
No,
a
it was.
term.
I thought I saw a zero. I thought I saw age 69 somewhere, and I was wondering if they cut it off at age 69 and a half, and once you reach the halfway point, then they consider you age 70. Because I have a 69-year-old woman, I'm trying to
Gotcha.
get some
It
options
wasn't
for.
IGAP. IGAP went to 64, but
Okay. Yeah, I think Jody can get in there. And remember, this carrier here, probably they're not so big that they don't have good customer service. And you can always call them too. If you have a question, never forget that we call carriers and within a few minutes you're going to have your answer. And no better way than going straight to the top. So if there are questions like that and you get certain cases you're just not sure about, don't try to wing it. Call them up and let your client know that we're going to get the
yeah,
answer to that.
there you go.
And I had a real similar thing happen to me yesterday with my LifeX policy that I sold, and they hadn't got their policy in the mail, and or hadn't got the email from it, and we just got LifeX on the phone, and they walked through and they found the email, and we got it resent to them, and so sometimes you just got to do a little bit of background work, but that's okay.
Darren, you sold another one?
No, it was actually the same one. They just hadn't received they hadn't got their emails yet.
Oh,
And
okay, gotcha. Yeah, I haven't started, as you probably know, that's why I haven't posted any deals. I haven't
yeah.
started on mine. There's a reason why. I'm waiting on my EIN because I do a text blasting campaign. Don't want to confuse, but this is what I use to write 70,000 a week. Watch, just
No
watch.
doubt.
I'm just waiting on my EIN to clear my carrier registration with the company I'm using. They're taking too long.
Love it. All right, guys. Well, hey, it was great training today, LeAnn. Thank you again. You're always incredible to spur of the moment come up, and you did a really good job. And so thank you guys all. Thank you, LeAnn, for doing this today. Um, we are going to jump off here. Don't forget our 3 o'clock training tomorrow. And I'll be hanging out in Coach White's office for a little bit today if you guys want to see me. I've got a few interviews going on. I've been hiring a lot of agents lately and coming off our prop hog. If you're not taking advantage of prop hog, you need to reach out to me and say, Darren, what is that? Right? It's probably the best hiring campaign. I've done this for about almost 10 years now, 9 years. The best hiring campaign I've ever done is what we're using right now is prop hog. And if you want to know about that one, let me know. But I hired a guy. I'm going to just give you an idea. Hired a guy last week, but we reunited last night and got him contracted.
Good morning,
Um,
this is Siobhan. It's in
and
West.
anyway, so his name is Ryan. You guys are going to be hearing a lot about Ryan. Ryan got his insurance license. He's working right now with a company that they go to communities. They get a hotel room and they go out there and they door knock, code door knock clients and go out there and get business. So they go from city to city to city, and that's all they do is selling life insurance and indemnity plans, right? To people. And I told him, I said, "Are you kidding me? Like Ryan, this is crazy." And he's actually enjoying it. He said, "I really kind of like what I'm doing. I don't know if I want to quit them." I'm like, "Well, here's the deal. you come work with me, we're going to get you some leads that are like legit mortgage protection leads. Because if you're not afraid to get out there and hustle, and you will go to these door knock mortgage protection. If you will door knock your mortgage protection leads, go on a weekend and just spend the weekend doing it, I will guarantee you success. More money than you'll ever make in your lifetime. But it's called a hustle. And rarely do I come across people like Ryan that is willing to get out there and do that kind of work and that put that legwork into it. But when you find those guys, oh my God, that dude he'll be $1 million producer. And we found him off Prop Hog. So those are the type of things we're getting with those guys, getting some really good agents coming in. And but if you are wanting to know more about that, let me know and I'll get with you and we can definitely get you plugged into that. Okay. So hey, thank you guys. I'll be in Coach White's room if you want to visit. I'll be jumping in, hearing you guys make calls today. Make sure you get on the phone. Call your leads. Can't make money if you're not calling your leads, guys. If you don't have leads, go find them. We got lots of lead sources. If you want mortgage protection, go to LeadCo, get them for $3 a lead. You can go to Age Lead Store. And what was that new one that somebody had sent me about a week ago that they were getting some really inexpensive leads? I can't remember. Somebody posted in chat. I can't remember what we were using, but there's different ones, lots of different lead sources out there, guys. We have tons of them. And just go out there and find your leads, get busy. If you don't have leads, go buy them. If you got leads, call them. Okay. Thank you, guys. We'll be seeing
Thank you, Darren. Hey, LeAnn, you going to JP's room?